Warm greetings from the High 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans, and thanks for joining me. As I told you all previously, I would be back on with another video pertaining to the disappearance of Summer Wells. As most of you know, EquiSearch has come to the area of Rogersville, Tennessee, to search for the missing girl child, 5 years of age. She's been missing now 5 weeks, and there has been no sightings or said information pertaining to the whereabouts of Summer Wells. There has been a lot of speculations, innuendos, rumors pertaining to her disappearance, how she came to be um, gone. Everyone's entitled to his or her opinion. This video is a double compilation. I told you I would bring information regarding the status at the time of the relationship between Candace Bly Wells and Boy H. To date, there's been no verification of a said courtship relationship, but it has come under speculation. That was my initial video I've been wanting to do for the past 2 days. So I'm going to do that this evening, and I'm also going to play audio from the phone call from Don Wells to a Jay, who has a network here. It's Jay is for Justice podcast is where this information is coming from. I will then bring you said information, my commentary pertaining to the audio of this said phone conversation, and I also will bring you my commentary pertaining to what actually was going on between Candace Bly and Boy H, and the fallout from the interview with the interview room with Mr. Chris, the removal of the children from the Wells custody, and how this will play out down the road if and when the child is discovered, alive or deceased, what the fallout will be. And as you see, the house of cards, they are down. And I believe all it took was one boy, a 15-year-old, to speak the spoken word, hello dear, to bring forth said allegations against Candace that led to the removal of her children. Because I know it doesn't take 5 weeks to remove kids out of someone's custody. I believe this is a long time coming, the removal of the children. And naturally, there was knowledge that there was something going on between she, her husband, and her children that wasn't proper, their behavior, their activities. But I believe the interview with Boy H got the ball rolling. Hello, thank you. And that is how the children got out of their custody this week. The interview with Boy H and Mr. Chris Donahue. And that's what I believe. I will now play you audio from the said interview. We'll be playing it from a bigger device because the smaller one, I don't think we'll be able to hear it. So I'm going to play it off of my TV. Thank you.
Hello?
Don.
Hey.
Hey, it's Jay.
Hey.
Hey, I haven't talked to you in a little bit. I wanted to call and check in on you.
Yeah, everything's pretty crazy.
Yeah, you don't sound good.
No, me and my wife's been going through a lot.
Yeah. Are the kids okay?
They're fine. They're fine.
The rumor is that they were taken out of the home. Were they taken from you guys? Were they? Oh no. Yesterday?
A couple days ago.
I'm so sorry.
Right now, with everybody attacking us and all this stuff going on, right now, we're probably going for it.
Was it for their safety? Like, from that?
No, there's more to it than that, but...
Uh-oh. Is it more in the case with
these cops and
Are you there?
things, and everywhere we go, they take pictures of us, and it's on and on and on. It's just never ending.
Yeah, were people still coming to the house? You cut out for a second there.
Well, yeah, we had the cops come up the other day. I want Candace to do another, whatever, lie test, but I told her, unless it's TBI, don't do it, because they're just trying to hem you in on something.
Is this the sheriff that wants her to do it?
I don't know for sure, but
Wow.
I mean, I'll cooperate fully with TBI.
Have you guys thought about getting an attorney?
Yeah, we have an attorney.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
What does he think she should do?
what's that?
Does he think she should do it or no? Like he should be giving you guys advice, you know?
And I haven't talked to him about that.
Oh.
I wouldn't do it unless it's, like I told her, unless it's TBI. I'm willing to work with them. They're more of a professional. I'm not going to go to some county trying to nail us for something.
Right.
I ain't even going to talk to them.
Right. Did she tell them that?
No, I don't tell them that. No. I mean, I'll let them know. Whatever, but it's just,
They don't want you to do one though, just her.
No, yeah, just,
Yeah, everybody's really pointing fingers at her. They really are. And you know that Hunter's mother, Allie, and her son, these interviews, they came out there.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy came and saw you guys, didn't he? Chris or whatever? Did he come to your house? Chris McDonough?
I don't know.
Dude, there's so much going on. I had to check in with you because there's so much swirling around and I just want to get it from you.
It's just crazy. I mean, she's at the end of the road, you know. She ain't got a friend one, hardly except for in church. We have a few friends, and even they question stuff. It's just ridiculous.
So you feel like everybody's turning on her.
Taking comfort to a whole new level. Meat is indeed comforting.
Because I've heard the one lady that sat down with Allie, what was her name, Missy or Misty? She didn't say anything bad about you. She was going for Candace.
Yeah, I don't see why. They don't have, thing is, they're just grasping for straws, man. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what the TBI knows. They don't know anything, nothing.
Right.
The TBI don't believe she had anything to do with it. You know, why would this, I mean, like, you know, a lot of parents do this crazy stuff to their kids, but Candace is not one. She loves someone with all her heart, and it's ripping her apart.
So, yeah, with that, I want to ask, like, people are saying that she was jealous of Summer because of your relationship with Summer.
Oh, that's all.
You never felt like she was jealous of her and the attention you gave her? Well, I don't think she should be. I mean, that's a totally different kind of relationship.
Be jealous of her daughter's love with her dad. That's ridiculous.
Right. You would be grateful that your husband loves you.
She was thankful.
Yeah.
She wasn't thankful. Yeah, I love her, but she was never jealous of that. That's like our daughter. What is it to be jealous of? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think it's bizarre.
They're nuts. I'll tell you that right now. They're all nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. This is just crazy.
On and on and on. And the only relief that we have is when we open our Bible and read a little bit about God's love, because that's the only love there is in this world. That's it.
That's why I wanted to call you today. I don't know if that's inappropriate because I know it's your Sabbath. I wasn't calling to bother you, but I was thinking about you, and I knew that. Yeah, and I just was thinking about you, and I wanted to check in and let you know that somebody was thinking about you, and just to see how you guys were holding up, because these interviews that I've seen.
He was trying to tell a world apart, and he's had a high degree of success, but we're trying not to allow him to tear us apart more than he already has.
That's all you can do.
Yeah, I mean, they came at me and said that somebody, they deposed him, they said they had an inside scoop with TBI, and they knew that I sold my daughter for drugs. And I flipped out. I believe that stuff. I believed it. Then I flipped out. You know, it's like drinking and everything else. That's what it is.
Oh no,
I'm
stop.
not wrong. I'm not wrong. It happened again, though.
Yeah. I mean, I understand you're under a lot of pressure and a lot of stress. Is that why you stayed off of Facebook? Just staying away from it?
It's so ridiculous. You can't.
Well, you stopped posting on Facebook, so the rumor swirling around was that you had left town and you were MIA. So everybody was like, is Don around? Is Don around? Yeah. Well, I'm glad you stepped away from social media. I think that was the best thing for you.
I'm trying to get Candace to do the same thing.
She's still out there.
Everything they do is just hate.
And you know, be safe. I mean, you don't want to give anybody any ammo to twist anything at this point. You know.
No matter what you say,
I know. So it's better off staying off that shit.
Yeah.
I've seen other families go through this, and it's not pretty, and it doesn't get better. It gets worse.
Yeah.
It gets worse. You know, I just want you to know that, you know, not everybody is against you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's for sure.
Can I ask you though? There was a few. Did you watch that interview with Allie? I wanted to ask you about that truck. She made a mention of a truck that you had parked by the house that was moved.
Truck.
Okay, I just thought that was odd. Yeah.
Yeah, she's real odd. And then they said they was going to go press charges against Summer Candace for giving concert alcohol and some tobacco. And the fact of it is he stole out of the truck. He stole something.
Did the police even talk to her about that?
Nervous, right?
Oh, I don't blame her. You know, are you able to see or talk to the boys?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I wish you the best with that. All right. I'll talk to you soon. All right. God bless. All right. Bye.
Okay. Thank you for joining me. Sorry about that. Welcome to Everyday Shenanigans. This is a double part video pertaining to the disappearance of Summer Wells. I will be bringing you commentary pertaining to this audio call done with a tuber and Mr. Don Wells. And I will begin. Thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you for the mod on deck. Amen. Try to be brief. Oh, mercy. Always something going on. This interview took place with a J for Justice YouTuber here. And I'm going to go ahead and read the commentary. My commentary pertaining to what was said in this interview. First of all, I'd like to say what made him even speak to this person. Now, I'm always curious to people when they're involved in a case, why they choose the person they choose to speak to. Had they listened to their commentary, their content? What made him speak to this lady, first and foremost? I'm curious to that. When I listen at this female's tone in this phone call, what I have to ask myself is, she speaks as if she knows him, Candy and their family, you know, saying, when he mentioned that the children were taken days before. I don't sugarcoat anything over here. What is that all about? You don't even know this man. You don't know him, his wife, the children, how they've been living. Nobody knew anything about these people except for the people who dealt with them before June 15th. And then all these ugly things came out by her alleged friend, Allison Mulani. So we had no idea who these people were, how they were living, what they had, didn't have. They were just random people before June 15th. So what I have to ask myself is, how can you awe somebody about their children being removed? You see, it's common sense. They were moved for a reason. And I also am curious to what did DHS find in their investigation to make this decision to remove the children? Why did it take this long, considering the saga has been unfolding for 5 weeks pertaining to the disappearance of this child, the rumors, the rhetoric, all of that? Whatever TBI has brought to the table pertaining to the disappearance, whatever the sheriff's department has brought forth. You see, all those things had to play a part as well, besides H's commentary. I do believe H's commentary with the interview room brought the house on down, all the way down. And I do believe that interview was to jump off to the children being removed. But I can't understand this woman's commentary as if you're shocked that the children were removed and basically, awing like, oh, it's so sad. And how's it sad? This man is an abuser. He is a drunk. He possibly could be using narcotics alongside his wife. They have an unkempt house, unkempt property. No telling what else they've been doing up on that mountain with their children, in the house, outside the house. We don't know them. Now, maybe this is possible just your way of trying to get information, to talk to him, get him to reveal things, so you want to appear diplomatic. But in the end, it's fakery. Because I can't see how anybody could awe of the fact that 3 children have been removed from a house where one is currently missing, and all these ugly things have come out about these said people. And I don't believe these accusations are false. Her giving a 15-year-old alcohol, vape, I believe is true. Her using narcotics, I believe is true. We can see that in the interview where she slurred, can barely speak. She was on something, let's say. I ain't got to know the name of it. The fact that she had an order of protection out on her husband last year, then dropped it, didn't pursue it. He admitted he had issues with her, drinking, blah, blah, blah. But is he really going to sit here and admit to the public, yeah, I beat her that day, or I do it all the time, some of the time? Who the hell's going to tell that? Accusations of him not raising his older children properly in a clean environment. Accusations of molesting his niece, other sister, whomever. All that's up for speculation, but nonetheless, it's vile material. And it's vile, and it came out because this little girl is missing, and Canaries decided they wanted to sing amen. Because that's what people do. People talk some of the times. He made mention that people were coming to the house, but he didn't finish that statement correctly. She asked. He's talking about people bothering them, taking photos. Okay. She asked, people been coming to the house? He basically went into saying law enforcement. Well, see, that's really open-ended, is it not? That's not Pookie, Ray Ray, Shamiqua, Bubba coming, lurking. Because as we've learned, the house sits way up on a hill. You can't even see the house from the road. So who was coming up there lurking and looking? The only thing they could do is take a picture of the road that they're actually sitting on, not the road that goes up to the house, because then they would be trespassing. They woke. So basically he said law enforcement was the ones coming to the house. Well, then that's not random people. That's people who have a job and a reason for being on your property. Stay woke. Now he's got an attitude with the local sheriff department. He trusts TBI, but he don't trust the sheriff. Why not? They have a job to do. And as she said in this phone call, well, I assume they all were working in conjunction with one another. Of course. TBI is probably the lead, which they would be, because this is a small area. They probably don't have the manpower to investigate this type of crime. That is to be expected. So that's when your state investigation bureau steps in, which is TBI. He mentions that law enforcement came to the house. These same people lurking around, stay woke, wanting Candy Bly to take another lie detector test. So we have to ask ourselves this now. Why would any law official, state, sheriff office, Police Department want Candace Bly to take another test. I thought she passed the test. That's what you said. You said it again in this commentary. She passed it, but I believe it's local that wants her to take it again. Do you even know, Mr. Wells, who the hell is inquiring about another lie detector test? Because really, in the end, it doesn't damn matter. If it's TBI, if it's Rogersville Police, if it's your county sheriff's department, it doesn't matter. It's principle. They, them, those want her to take another test. Why? If she passed the first one, as you said she did, why would they double back and ask her to take another one? That's the point. That's the point. No one is going up to that property. I doubt that. Lurking around. People taking photos of you all. Who? Ellie or random strangers? While you are out shopping, eating, getting gas, who's taking photos of you, Don Wells, you and your family? Random people, or is it law enforcement? Is it the news? Who's taking photos? And you mentioned in this commentary on the phone that your children were removed a couple of days ago. You really didn't go into details with this female about why they were taken, because naturally you know more. You should know more because you're the parent. But we already know in a story, excuse me, people will reveal what they want to reveal. They don't tell you everything. So this is why I kept telling you all, while everybody's running out of breath to talk to a tuber, and the tuber running out of breath to receive the information, you don't even know what you're listening to, because you don't know the people spinning the web. And you should know, in a case of a missing child, there's going to be some information, pertinent information omitted, such as the truth. Why were the boys removed from your care, Mr. and Mrs. Wells? I think we know why. And you did made a mention that it was more to it, why they were taken, but you didn't reveal it. But we do believe H got the ball crunk on that one. So then we have to ask ourselves about the commentary that came from his mother, Miss Allie, weeks before, that she and others made calls to CPS. So what we have to ask ourselves, was that legitimate, what was said? Was it truthful? Were they investigating them before Summer Wells went missing? Hello. Was DHS investigating these two for abuse and neglect of their children before Summer Wells ever went missing? We will never know. We will only know if one of these two decides to tell the truth, and that these people, the DHS, the investigators, TBI, tell them, by the way, you've been under the radar for child abuse and neglect of your said children before your child went missing. This was inevitable to happen, these children going into the state's care, because I do not believe the children were getting accurate care from their bio donors. When you have all these accusations coming out now after the fact from a 15-year-old boy, which I think is so despicable, that a 15-year-old boy brought the house of cards down with an interview, this shows you how jacked up these people really are. While we've got somebody swooning and swining and moaning as if they ain't done nothing. 15 years old, gave up the goods on Candace Bly and her behavior, allegedly. Who was going to tell the truth about what was going on up on that mountaintop? They're secluded, you can't see anything. So if you suspected something, would you tell? Accusations of beer bottles and this and that, beer cans, how would you know unless you were there? I'm going to throw that in. because that goes to seeing and knowing. And if you saw it and knew it, did you ever say anything? Neighbors, visitors, did you ever call DHS to say, hey, these people are drunks? They drink all the time. They got all these kids up here. The house is unkempt. The property is unkempt. The house is nasty. The kids are nasty. They're dirty. This picture on this video shows you what you need to see. I posted it to the community board before I went live. I told you, look closely at the photograph and tell me, what do you see? You see a little girl holding a puppy, but look closely into the picture and you will see a little girl who's dirty, face dirty, hands dirty, and a Caucasian male standing behind her without any shoes or shirt on, holding a rifle or BB gun or whatever you want to call it. You do not see his face in the said photo. So how does that look? A little girl unkempt holding a holding a puppy, and a male standing behind her, I'm assuming it's a brother, holding a gun, rifle, whatever the word you want to call it, with no shoes and no shirt on. What was he doing with the gun? Because I don't know that they have any 18-year-old boy children living in their house. So why was that child standing there with a gun, underage, half dressed, no shoes, no shirt on, standing over a little girl that's unkempt? And yet the person who's uploading the content is oohing and awing that their children were taken. Like, oh, that's terrible. No, it's not. It's not terrible, because you don't know these people. And Boy H has brought us a little more tea pertaining to who these people are. And whether we believe all of everything he said, some of it is the spoken word. She aided this kid with alcohol, tobacco products. I don't think he lied about that. But the picture on this video speaks 1,000 times fold. These people had no business rearing children. These people had no business procreating. Now, if they want to be F-offs on their own time, knock yourself out, but not rearing children. Will these two stay together? Mr. Wells, Candy Bly, will they get their kids back? Will there be arrests? Does law enforcement TBI suspect Candy Bly or her husband or both for the disappearance of Summer Wells? What do they have on Candace Bly? What do the devices say? What evidence do they have of this case, on this case? What did they retrieve from the house? Did they take anything out of the house? See, we never just talked about that, because who's going to see up that road if law enforcement TBI brought anything out, such as evidentiary materials? That's the reason why I know nobody's been lurking up there, because you can't even see up the damn road to the house. Are these two suspects in the disappearance of Summer Wells, or is it just Candace Bly? She asked, do they have an attorney? He said yes. Basically, she was telling him, you might need to talk to them about the lie detector test, blah, 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 blah. He lets us know that Candy's the only one they want. He trusts TBI to administer tests, but not the sheriff's department, which I find interesting. Why does he not have genuine feelings for his local officials? What have they done or said to him and his wife for him to have ill will towards them, not to trust them? Is it because he threw your wife into a police car? That's his damn job, to put her in the back of the car. That's what they do when you are involved in a case. You reported your child missing. They want you to come to headquarters. So they ask you to get in the car, or they ask you to come on down to headquarters. What's the problem? Only she is the one they want to retake the test. Why is that? She passed it allegedly. That's what you said, Don. So why is she taking it again? And yes, who is administering the test? Because let you tell it, she took it at the state's attorney's office. So what I have to ask myself, is the state's attorney's office in the same damn building with the police office? Because we are talking about a small area jurisdiction. So perhaps everybody's office is in the same building. So it would assumingly be she took it at the state's office when really she took it in a damn room pertaining to the police station. Stay woke. You'll never know the truth with this group. Why Kandi? And once again, why is he talking to this lady on YouTube? You make a mention that you got a few friends left, just mainly church people, and even they are starting to question you all. Why would they not, Don? Why would a sane person not question you and your wife's involvement in the disappearance of a girl child, your girl child? If you are spinning the web, she was last on the property. What sane person is not going to think something jumped off on that property? Because what they have to look at is how you're living and where you live. You don't live on a regular street with rows of houses where a child could have just easily walked down the street, ran into the street, ran into somebody's yard or alley, and got kidnapped, lured. You live up in the holler, up on a dusty road that can't nobody even see the damn house unless they drive up your driveway. So yes, these people are probably questioning what is the truth pertaining to the disappearance of your child. Why would they not? And naturally, they don't have to say anything to you. They don't have to say anything out of the way, question you, berate you, but they have free will to think and assume. That is our right as a civilian, to think as we choose. It is only a problem when we open our mouth and spit it out in an undignified manner. And that is also up for interpretation. Who is this Missy Misty person he's speaking of? I tell you, I don't keep up with the Facebook jargon, so I don't even know who he's talking about. Basically, the lady said she's the one going in on Kandi, saying negative things about her, but not him. Maybe it's because that's her opinion. She thinks Kandi is involved. That is her opinion. Don says they're grasping for straws. You see, that sounds like somebody that knows something. Stay woke. They're grasping for straws. Well, are they? Is law enforcement grasping for straws? Is TBI grasping for straws? Is your local law enforcement grasping for straws? Is the public grasping for straws and thinking your damn wife got something to do with that baby missing? The hell you talking about? They grasping for straws. No, homeboy, you are delusion, and you trying to run game on folks that's gullible. Queen woke, been woke. Whether you did it or not, whether you were there or not, you're aiding somebody who possibly did do the do. That makes you complicit. And there's nothing wrong with showing favor to your spouse. Nothing wrong in believing in your spouse. But there comes a time when one must be woke and say, something don't sound right here. So right now, I can't say who's involved. And one thing I would never do is aid two people in the disappearance of a child. I'm not getting ready to ride with nobody. That's how the queen rocks. Because I don't know you. And I know the high chance of one of you being involved or both to the disappearance of your child is damn near 95%. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what TBI knows. Huh? TBI is the one possibly running an investigation, fool. What is you saying? Oh, now you're trying to say TBI don't suspect Kandi Bly? You don't think TBI is in cahoots with your local law enforcement? You don't think they're all meeting together and talking with one another? You don't think they are the head knockers of this investigation? You best to wake up, homeboy, because you've been drinking a little too much or sleeping a little too long. You better come on out that fog, homeboy. You better come on out that fog. Because you sound ridiculous. As you say, outsiders are ridiculous in assuming your wife is involved. They're trying to pin it on her local officials. They're trying to hem her up on something she ain't did. Well, let us think about that. You spun the web to the dispatch. So if you're mad at somebody, take it up with you and your damn wife. Because it is your phone call to the dispatch that got the ball crunk. And it's also being said that both of you called 911. So let me think about that for a second. Allegedly, you all don't have good Wi-Fi or phone service up there on that mountain. And we noticed that with you talking to this lady in this phone call. But one thing we do know, Candy Bly called you from her mother's phone allegedly, I'm assuming. And didn't you tell her to call 911? So somebody's phone was working up there on that mountain. So funny. Only the grandmother's phone works. Okay. But yet you all post on Facebook a lot. You trust TBI more than the local law enforcement. I don't get that. So these people should be handling you with kid gloves. There's a child missing, sir. So they don't have time to coddle you and Miss Bly. And if they're thinking ill that one of you are involved, that's their perception. And they can only be getting that perception from what they've seen by you all. So who are you mad at once again? See, this is what amazes me about people involved in these crimes. You always got an attitude with an outsider. You got an attitude with the sheriff. You got an attitude with the TBI investigator. You got an attitude with the news. You got an attitude with Pookie. You got an attitude with Bubba. You got an attitude with everybody except your damn self. Why is that? What you should be mad at is yourself, because you are the orchestrator of this BS going on in that holler. You raised those kids. You brought those kids here. You live and foul up there on that fucking mountain. You up there with a nasty ass property. You up there with a nasty ass house. You up there with a board up to your damn window. But now everybody is lying on you. The dispatch, she lied. Let Candy tell it. You mad now at the local sheriff. But TBI, all right. Now the church people, we got a few friends, but now some of them starting to question us. Damn, Don, can't nobody be woke. Dude, I don't know what kind of game you think you're running, but you full of BS. Because it wasn't just a couple days ago and weeks ago, you thumping that Bible. And you been thumping it hard. Good Christian folks. Remember what you said? Woo! I got good Christian folks. I want to thank the good Christian folks for supporting us. I want to thank the good Christian. Woo! But now you got a problem with them good Christian folks now. Because guess what? Them good Christian folks, some of them then took them blinders off. Come on, Queen. Somebody woke up in Kingsport in Rogersville. You in a bubble. And you baiting this lady that you was talking to on this phone. You told this lady, Candy Bly loves Summer with all her heart. I don't know that. Because I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to keep saying it till I no longer talk on the YT. You cannot love anybody when you don't love your damn self. And Candace Bly don't love herself. The fact that she would aid a 15-year-old with smoking material and a twisted tea, alcohol, part alcohol, it's all the same. She don't love herself because a decent human would never give a 15-year-old child those type of products because it's wrong. And she didn't get permission from his mother. So don't tell me she loves Summer with all her heart. First of all, you got to have a heart to love with all your heart. Stay woke. Accusations that Candace Bly is jealous of Summer. You said that's ridiculous. She's not jealous. Why would she be? You right. Why would she be? Well, let me school you on something, Don. Queen gonna have to go in the belly of the beast and break it down to some of those that's equally slow and gullible and green. And just maybe ain't really lived nowhere. Learn about what people are really about. Sisters are jealous of sisters. Sisters are jealous of brothers. Brothers are jealous of brothers. Brothers are jealous of sisters. Children are jealous of their parents. Parents are jealous of their children. Yes, homeboy, a mother can be jealous of her own girl, child. I've seen it and I know it. Because perhaps the child has qualities that mama don't possess, didn't possess as a child, young lady, currently. So it can be. Father can also be jealous of his son. Son's nice looking, handsome, has great attributes, talented. Stay woke. Stop playing crazy. Stop trying to play us like we're crazy. She asked about the Facebook post. I see you stopped. People thought perhaps you had left. So folks thought he left because he wasn't posting on Facebook. So he admitted, yes, I stopped. I've also told Candy to stop. You didn't have no business posting nothing up there. No way. You got an open investigation and your child is missing. Why would you be on Facebook posting stuff, answering questions, responding to questions, innuendos, accusations? That's a fool's way. You ain't learned that, homeboy? You 50-something plus years and you thought it was okay to be posting crazy commentary on Facebook with a missing child? And now that your children have been taken, now all of a sudden you woke to, yeah, I ain't posting on Facebook no more. Okay. Lord have mercy. She asked you about H's interview. Did you watch it? You said a little bit. Tell the truth, Don. You watched all of that interview. I bet you watched all of it because you know you needed to hear what he had to say. And if we ought to believe what H said in the interview about her talking to you on the phone that day and told them to be quiet, 9 times out of 10, you are controlling. That's why she didn't want you to know who was in the company in that car. Possibly H, which leads me to wonder, why would you be concerned about a 15-year-old boy being in a company with your wife, considering that's her friend's son? Stay woke. So perhaps you're a controlling person. So hell yeah, you watched all of that interview with H. I ain't slow. I ain't never been slow. I got all mine together. You watched a little bit. Yeah. And I'm wearing a size 4 dress. Come on with all that. Allegedly, somebody's talking about charging Candy Bly with aiding a boy child with smoking products and alcohol. Well, his mother should. Because it's time for Big Girl Allie to pull her big girl panties up and do the right thing and rear her children properly. But she's part of the mess too, because she's been knowing what your wife and you have been doing up there in that holler, and she still let her child hang around you, and she still was friends with Candy Kane. So she's a hot mess too. A big old hot mess. And if your wife gets a charge for aiding a child, delinquency of a child, rightfully so. She needs to take that ride because she had no business in the company of a 15-year-old. She had no business talking and texting back and forth with a 15-year-old. Conversating on TikTok, Facebook, back and forth with a 15-year-old. There's something wrong with this. And as I say, there's nothing wrong with being close to people who are not your age. But I sense that she was using this child as a confidant, and that is not appropriate. She needed to find somebody her own age to confide in, such as Big Girl Allie, not little boy H. Something about a truck. I don't know what they were talking about. Somebody spotted a truck somewhere. Queen don't know nothing about it. This lady acts like she's concerned about him. She says, I didn't mean to call you on the Sabbath, but I was concerned. Concerned. All right. You concerned about a man that you don't even know. And I really didn't want to have to say this because I played the audio from this person's network, but I have to call a spade a spade. You don't know Don Wells and Candace Bly. You don't know any of the participants in the storyline. And to sit up and ooh and ah because his children was taken leads people to think you think it's okay for them to keep custody of their children. How could you think that after what H just told you in that interview? Because I don't believe he lied about the things that he witnessed, saw, partook in their drinks, alcohol, vapes, all that. I believe all of that. So how do you think that's okay? How can you say you're concerned about a man who has admitted to harming his wife, beating his wife, hurting his wife physically, being an alcoholic? So you're basically saying these two should keep custody of their remaining 3 children when they drink, imbibe, get loaded, turned up, turned out, use narcotics. You are basically saying that, lady. It's okay for them to keep their kids. Because I would have never said, oh, I'm so sorry about you losing your kids. How would I feel sorry about somebody who I'm seeing ain't proper dope? The wife ain't proper dope. I don't understand your reasoning. I don't get it. I don't know if it's for the likes, the views, because naturally, somebody talking to somebody in a story gonna get you a lot of likes and views on your channel. That's just common sense. That's just common sense. That's just common sense. Neglectful. State of the house from the outside shows you neglect. State of the property shows you neglect. Pictures of dirty children shows you neglect. So that means the children are not bathing, they're not being cared for. That means also you don't wash your hair. You don't wash your body, you don't wash your feet, your hands, your private parts, your hair. You don't wash your hair means you'll get headlights, cooties. Stay woke. But oh, I'm so sorry. Okay. All right. And if I'm to believe the allegations from Allie that the child was locked in a hot room, basement, with locks on both sides of the door, then that leads me to think perhaps they were abusing their other children, or were the boys' favorite and they didn't get no abuse. Help me understand. What is the truth back in that holler? Was it one child being abused? Just the girl who's pretty, blonde hair, blue eyes? Or were the boys more revered and they got away with anything and it was only maybe the little girl that got reprimanded? I'm confused because I don't know. But there's something fishy with this story and these people rearing these kids. And they don't need to have their children. Because the pictures that we've seen from social media says it all. The state of the house, the state of the property, inside of the house, the way the children looked in their photographs, a child right here in this video post with a gun, with half naked, standing out in the yard over a fucking kid with a puppy, tells you everything you need to know. I ain't gotta know them. They ain't got to be my friends. They don't have to go to church with me. They don't have to be related to me. The pictures tell the story. So how can you aid anybody after seeing these pictures, videos, and now hearing what H has to say in the interview? There's no way in your right mind you can ooh and ah over the children being removed out of the care of the Wells. That means there's something wrong with you. No more state aid if you were getting it, Candace. No more stimulus for your children from the month of July to December, because now your children are gone. Interesting. This was the month that most Americans would get a stimulus check for their children under the age of 18, 17. And now Candace Bly won't be getting a damn dime from the state for welfare, medical aid, nothing. Not a food stamp, old stamp, nothing. And no stimulus money either. They woke. How you gonna get your dope now? Because if daddy don't go to work, you don't have a job. How you gonna buy your vapors and your drinks and your twisted teas and your pills and whatever the hell you been on? Dope man gonna be a little light this month. Shut up, Queen. As I stated, both had no business on social media due to the fact their child is currently missing and there's an open investigation into the disappearance of Summer Wells. We keep talking about caring for this child. She cared for the child. But I say neither of you cared for your children because you don't care for yourselves. And you've shown that in the way you carry yourselves and your appearance to the general public. And I say that also for Allison Mulani. You all have exhibited poor parental skills because you don't even keep yourselves up visually. So you don't keep the parents up of your said children. And I feel sorry for these kids because every child deserves to have a good life. They deserve to have a warm bed, clean sheets, detergent, water, hot water, cold water, working stove, working refrigerator, clean towels, washcloths, a mattress inside of a bed, headboard, footboard, all of the above, school clothes, play clothes, new shoes, play shoes, toys, games, clean hair, cut hair, not bald, not shaved, to look like a boy and a girl. See where I'm going? They deserve the basic necessities. They deserve the best leisure that the parents can afford to give them within the means that the parents have. And these children only knew what you brought to the table. So whatever you taught them is all they know. And then it doesn't matter that they play video games all day. They see how other people live on TV, movies, schoolhouse. That ain't their reality. And I don't think those kids would know how to act if they were to go into a nice home, 2,000-3,000 square feet with nice furniture, stainless steel appliances, clean rooms that smell like Lysol and air freshener, dresser drawer with new clothes, nice clothes, clean clothes, socks, underwear, all the windows in place, all the doors in place, no locks on any doors and windows. They would know how to act. And some of us would know how to act, and we damn grown. You see, being poor ain't the problem. It's how you carry yourself in being poor. Because many people grew up poor, working class. It's how you carry yourself. It's how you're treated. It's how you're reared. It's about your spirit. You see, you could be a millionaire and hang yourself, kill yourself, overdose on drugs, which leads us to believe you were never happy as a millionaire, as a wealthy person. So money isn't everything. It's only everything to us poor folks who want the money. But we know that money brings many problems. That's why you have to have a good spirit, whether you are wealthy or not. And Mr. and Mrs. Wells, you don't have a good spirit. That is the very reason why Summer Wells is missing. The very reason why the state stepped in and finally took your children. And I do find it awfully, awfully interesting that they came as late as they did. Because now what we have to question, was the allegation true that Allie, the mother, whomever, called CPS sometime before the disappearance of Summer? Is there an open investigation on file with this family before Summer Wells went missing? Queen is not a hater. That's not even in my repertoire. But what I don't like are people who aid people who don't care about their children and act like they know who they are. You all don't know any of these damn people out here. Just like they don't know you, and they don't know your sins, and they don't know your troubles, and they don't know your mindset. Because you see, talk is cheap. It's easy to say one thing, but then go do another. And I'm not getting ready to ride or die with nobody with a missing child. That's just Queen. And once I see pictures that you were not living properly and you had an unkempt lifestyle with your children, hell yeah, I'm going to question every damn thing about you and how you reared your child. You see, I don't need the likes and views and pretend I like somebody just to get them to talk to me on the network. Because in the end, I got to be able to sleep at night and I got to be able to stand on my own, how I carried myself and what I did and did not do. And in the end, is God going to show me favor because I want to ride or die with somebody that could have possibly killed a damn 5-year-old? Hell to the no. You're all right, 78. I want to thank you all for following the content and listening to me give my commentary, because in the end, that's all this is a commentary channel and an opinion. But God has the last say on anything that I talk about because he knows all. He is the way maker, and he will be the one to say if justice will be served in any of these cases pertaining to missing children, people, and deceased children and people. My opinion is just that, an opinion. But he knows all, and he will make a way for someone else. I think it is atrocious what we have just listened to in this audio. A man who is in a bubble and blaming everybody besides he and his own wife for their own demeanor, and she is no better because to me, she's the ringleader because she's the one who was last seen with the child. And Candace Blythe knows what happened to Summer Wells. There's no ifs, ands about it. And the things that H said in that interview were very disturbing, whether you believe it or not. Anytime a child will tell you he's been afforded alcohol, tobacco products, the woman loses her child when she gets turned up, how in my right mind would I believe that's a lie? If it's a lie, it's a hell of a lie. That's a hell of a lie. Could it be lying? Maybe. But it's a hell of a lie if it is. And what's even worse, if it's true. Because what we have to tell ourselves, if that was her behavior, she now has a missing child. So peekaboo, peekaboo, hide and seek with my 5-year-old came to fruition. She is now missing. And I also am questioning, how in the hell do you get turned up and then go looking for your child and say, I can't find my child? Come again? And then you will go call a 15-year-old or his mother or whomever and be inebriated saying, I can't find my child. Oh, oops, I'm sorry. There she is. She's outside. Sorry. Talk to you later. Huh? They never should have had kids. In no way in hell, those kids should have ever been afforded an opportunity to come out her womb, be under the guise of that father, and up on that damn mountain. I think it's despicable. All these adults in this storyline. I don't have any respect for Candace Blythe, Dawn Wells, or Allison Milani. I think you all are misfits. I think you all are disturbed people. I think you all are crybabies. I think you all are under the influence of drugs and alcohol. And the other one is under the influence of Mountain Dew and Hostess cakes. Yeah, Allison, I'm talking about you. The time you spend feeding your fat face, you could be raising your children better and had a better eye on boy H. And you need to let that boy get on back to New York with his father. If indeed law officials need to talk to H, they can call him and Skype with him up in New York and indeed bring him back to Tennessee if need be. But he does not need to be in your care either. And I'm waiting for the ball to drop on your big tail because you need to be sitting in the same hot seat with Candace Bly and Don Wells. Birds of a feather flock together. And this is why I know how y'all all came to be friends, because you are all similar creatures. You walk the same path in life and live the same. You're all nasty heathens. Both of you were friends and shared the same man willingly. In no way I'm going to believe Candace Bly didn't know that guy slept with you. That's how she came to know him. You all are disgusting. And you all are rearing children and don't have any respect for yourselves. And now you come run to the YT trying to get you all of 5 minutes of fame off somebody's YouTube channel. You're despicable. You're damn despicable. And I wouldn't give you 5 minutes of conversation. Because the first thing I would have said to myself when I heard and saw the Facebook post of what you put up there about Candace Bly and the sharing of a man, I would have known what time of day it was. That you just a dirty backstabber. And you doing this out of spite to hurt her. Because if you really were a friend, you would have told her about herself and how she was living up on that damn mountain. And that how she was treating her children was wrong. And you would have stayed away from her and you would have kept your kids away from Candace Bly and Don Wells. And then you would have called the authorities to tell them the truth about what you saw and witnessed with Candace Bly and her children and what you saw at her house. So you're just as dirty as she is. Thank you, Melissa. I want to thank the mods on deck. I want to thank those for following me, watching, liking, sharing. If you want to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. It's in the description of this video and all videos. All super chats are welcome during the live. I want to thank you for the support. I want to thank you all for listening and tuning in. I want you to know that don't be afraid to say anything, because this is the reason Summer Wells is missing. It's because somebody waited too late to say something. And now she's gone. And whatever the reasons are for her disappearance, it doesn't matter. She's gone. And 9 times out of 10, she's not coming back. And we've got a bunch of people baiting you all to think they're innocent and don't know anything about that child's disappearance. But you can use common sense and logic and stats that if she went missing in the same house with her parents, one or both are involved in her disappearance. Somebody in that house that was on the property has something to do with her disappearance, and somebody also covered it up. And I think it's sad that the grandmother has yet to say anything, make any type of comments, a commentary to the news, radio about her missing grandchild, going to get somebody to speak on her behalf. That's suspicious and suspect to me. Now everybody wants to blame law officials, the newspaper, the dispatch. Everybody's at fault except for these dusty ass rednecks. You didn't have a problem with none of these people weeks ago when you were stomping that Bible and talking about that church. That's all you talked about, Don Wells. Good Christian people, good Christian people. Now you got a problem with them too at the church. So, you got a problem with them now, huh? You got a problem with the local sheriff. You got a problem with the dispatch. Everybody but you two. Everybody is the problem except for you and Candy Cane. How ironic. You two are bottom feeders, river rats. River rats. The only thing missing out that damn holler up on that nasty hill is a river. You people keep playing with Don Wells and Candace Bly if you want to. Keep sucking up all that information for your likes and your views. You see, when you crawl around in the dirt, crawl around in that mud, you're going to come up muddy. No way you're going to come up clean. So you might want to think about that and getting your information and your interviews and your conversations for your likes and your views. Because I ain't that thirsty for no like and no view. To talk to some people who 9 times out of 10 got their child missing deliberately. Ain't that thirsty. Thank you for tuning in, listening to the content. I really appreciate it. Thank you, mods on deck. God bless all of you. Stay safe. Have a safe weekend. When I get more information pertaining to this situation, I will bring you the information. But I do believe possibly more was going on between Candace and this young boy. The behavior between the two is odd. It's off. Too much confiding in personal information. Too much has been said to him. He knows too much. He repeated too much in that interview. He repeated things that a child shouldn't even have known anything about. And him questioning her husband, calling her, was a big sign. Something was foul. And that she has been confiding in a child and talking to him in a grown-up fashion and repeating grown folks' business, her own personal business. And when I think of that, I also have to question what else went on between she and boy H. And don't think because he's 15, he cannot lie. You know damn well he's never going to tell you he did anything with a grown-up woman. He's never going to tell you that. Why would he? He has the notion to lie. Come on now. He knows what to tell and what not to tell. And no way in my right mind is he going to tell you that he touched that lady inappropriately, she touched him inappropriately, or they went all the way. And I'm not saying that they did, but what I am saying is he won't tell you that. He's not going to tell you that. But some young boys would. I've seen cases where young boys did tell that they had a relationship with an older woman, school teacher, whatever. But I don't think this kid would tell it. Because what I have to ask myself is the ultimate question. Why is a 39-year-old woman confiding in a 15-year-old boy? Why is she not telling these things to Allison? Somebody else, her own age. And will she be charged with the delinquency of a minor? Because I think she should be. And I do believe the local law enforcement and TBI knows more than what they're revealing. And there's a reason why they want her to take another lie detector test, which was said by Mr. Don in this said commentary phone call. There's a reason for them wanting her to take another test. And don't think a person can't lie on a test. Because you see, if you don't have empathy, you can pass a lie detector test because you don't feel anything. So therefore, if you don't feel anything, your heart won't race, your blood won't pump fast. You can pass the test. You can pass the test. And many guilty people have passed the lie detector test. And as they say, can't be admitted in court, doesn't show any validity in court, because obviously they know people can pass the test and are guilty. Prayers for Summer Wells. Prayers for all missing people, children. Prayers for Chadwick Carr, 32, missing from the foundation, Clinton, Tennessee. Prayers for Deshina Kyle, 27 years old, missing from Knoxville, Tennessee. Thank you all for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Have a safe weekend, and I'll talk to you guys later. God bless you. Goodbye.